When most people think about archives, they think of drab, dusty, unexciting places, like this. Or maybe they think of forbidding places that collect the glories of the past, like the National Archives. I think this is misguided. Archives are filled with materials that have a story to tell, or could help you tell a story. They are an adventure waiting to begin. They are not a past looking to be put away. Archives collect the records of their communities, and they always will. But today, they face a new challenge, what you might call the digital dark age. Previously, records used to be maintained for a while, and then they would be reviewed and collected at a later date. Now, they are discarded quite quickly, as easily as you might delete a picture off of your cell phone. So, what does the future hold for the collection of the past? Any effort to examine our past to look at the path that we have taken over time is going to rely on archives. Bellarmine is a young institution, and our archives will help us tell our history. They also already link us to the wider Catholic and Louisville communities. And I have a few examples of this. So our archives are filled with institutional records. Really exciting stuff, let me tell you. But they will help us tell our story, and they will also help you tell a story if you think about it. So for instance, why would anybody be interested in the Bellarmine Medal Award ceremony for 1975, except somebody at Bellarmine? Well, if you would like to support the case for the canonization of Archbishop Fulton Sheen, the recipient that year, you might use our institutional record to raise awareness of the bishop and link us to the wider Catholic community. But it is not only institutional records that we have. Dr. Alan Lansing is a longtime supporter of the university. He is a namesake of the Lansing School here at Bellarmine. He is a world-famous heart surgeon, and his pioneering surgeries made news around the world. His papers are in the Bellarmine archives. That collection and other collections link us to the healthcare community and the wider Louisville community. A different glimpse for what archives could be in the future can be seen in the fireplace room in Treese Hall. There is a photo of St. Teresa of Calcutta, Mother Teresa. And next to the photo is a QR code. Now this display was put in place to commemorate the 1982 visit of this future saint to Bellarmine's campus. That QR code links directly to archival materials, including a video recording of the press conference that took place in that room. Who knows, maybe someday it could be a virtual reality experience of the press conference. But this is not history put away. This is history brought out into the present, made available and interactive, so that we can experience the adventure that those people had. When you're dealing with the archives, you never know where you're going to find the adventure. I think of the Benjamin Robertson film collection. These films were found in university storage. They were tucked away in a dusty cabinet, kind of in the attic, so to speak. Nobody knew what they were. So we examined them and looked and discovered that they were home movies from the 1930s. Several of them were from a round-the-world trip that Robertson took in the 1930s. One of them was a video from the Abbey of Gethsemane. It is perhaps the oldest video of the monastery and its monks. We were able to preserve this film through a grant from the National Film Preservation Foundation. After we did that, we provided a copy to the archivist at the monastery. He was thrilled, he was stunned. Here was a record of the timeless nature of monastic life, and he shared it right away with the monastic community. I think that the Robertson Collection hints at a different role for archives of the future. These are not official records, but they do provide important documentation of the life of our wider community. And I think that the non-institutional nature is what is important here. Future archives do not have to be restrictive scholarly spaces all about institutional records and famous individuals. They could be open, accessible, and participatory experiences. They could be records of our common lived experience. They could be collections that tell our story and our adventures. The library and the School of Communications have been working on a project, the Bellarmine Media Archive, that will hopefully bring this into reality. The Bellarmine Media Archive would, of course, collect institutional materials, but it would also collect materials from individuals who have documents that highlight the role of the university in the wider community. So perhaps you know somebody that has similar materials. Perhaps you have materials that document our shared life together. Consider what might be in your attic that could be of community value. Archives do not make the past come alive. Archives are where you make the past come alive. Thank you.